Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today, and this video will actually be the ultimate desk setup, including the PC. So I don't really have an idea of the budget on this build, but I'm just going to go with the flow, and hopefully my two jobs will cover the costs, assuming that it's below a reasonable price. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm actually going to do the PC last, because I want to show what the heck the PC is going to be sitting on. So starting off here at IKEA, we're going to go ahead and basically check out what I feel like would be the best desk for me. Excuse me. Now this desk is actually really cool. It's not the most popular model. The most popular one is actually this one right here, but the reason I'm not going to get that one is because I feel like it's a little bit too small. A lot of people use it, but I want the biggest one. This one's actually this one right here is meant for 2 people, but I know I'll use up a lot of space, so that's basically the one I'm going to get. For only 65 bucks, that's actually a really good steal. And next, obviously, we're going to need a very good audio recording system, and this happens to be the best. Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 interface is probably the best, and it's very common throughout YouTubers. Coming in at $209, so we're looking at about 275 bucks so far, with taxes probably already $300. And this is definitely not a budget build. Keep that in mind. This is nowhere near cheap. Okay, this is just me going all out for a dream setup. Now obviously I could go even farther, but I'm not gonna. Also, I'd really like to have the Audio-Technica M50X white version. This will look really, really gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous with that desk and just the whole setup in general. So, assuming I build a white PC, this will look great. Everything's starting to go with the flow. And then, obviously, I'm going to need a pair of headphone hangers, or I guess one headphone hanger that can hold a pair of headphones underneath the desk. So, I'll pop that bad boy underneath there, and it will look good. I could definitely see the M50Xs chilling on that. And then obviously I have always wanted to go with this LED speaker system. There's different colors and stuff. You have the green, red, or the blue. I'm assuming for this setup I'd like to go for the blue one, and on my previous setup I would have obviously chosen the red one, but this case we're gonna go with the blue, and it looks pretty awesome. For only 50 bucks, this is looking gorgeous on the desk. And then next, I couldn't decide if I wanted to have 3 standard monitors, all next to each other and stuff, mounted on the wall, or have one ultra wide. Now this happens to be a 29-inch, so it's pretty good. It's pretty freaking good. It's an ultra wide LG model, and I think I like having one monitor better than multiple monitors, but I don't know. That's kind of something I'll have to think into a little bit more. But as of right now, this monitor comes in at 350 bucks, and definitely not cheap. But we'll go ahead and see how that turns out later on. And then I'm going to use a monitor stand just to kind of keep it up, and also store stuff underneath the monitor to conserve space on my desk, as if I didn't have enough already. And obviously you need the ever so popular LED strip lights to put around your desk, because everybody does that nowadays, obviously. And this is the 5-meter one, so this one's, it's becoming standard at this point. And then finally, we're going to start building our PC. So I, flew through the other stuff really quickly there, just to kind of give you an idea of what the whole setup is going to look like surrounding the PC. But now comes the important part. Now, I always love to start off with the case. However, I'm just going to go part by part, see what I can do. I'm going to go with an Intel build for this one. Probably an i7 4790K is what I'm really hoping for at this point. So here's the 4790K. We'll see. I don't know why I had to click on Intel right there. Obviously, it's not going to make a difference, but yeah, so let's go with some of the highest speeds we can find. 6700K, yeah, that's a really popular one, I'm not gonna lie. But okay, so here's the 4790s right here, coming in average. We'll go ahead and get the OEM edition. It's 4 gigahertz, 4 cores, but when you're going Intel, it doesn't matter really how many cores it is, it's gonna be freaking powerful. Especially the K edition. We're gonna overclock the crap out of that bad boy. So we got to get a nice good CPU cooler. Do I go water cooling, or do I stick with fan? I'm not really sure. So I really want it to be a quiet build, and I know the Be Quiet brand would obviously be beneficial in this case, but I don't know. We got to see what we can do. We've got to see what we can do. I'll go ahead and check Be Quiet, see what we got on here, and come up with the cheapest stuff. Definitely don't want to go for the cheapest thing, but we'll go ahead and see. I know Dark Rock is actually a pretty good brand, or a pretty good model. It's from NCIX, so it'll take a while to get here. Dark Rock Advanced. Wow, this thing is expensive. Yeah, that looks pretty freaking nice. I'm not gonna lie, that looks really clean, you guys. See the decibel levels on this thing. This one looks pretty good. Wow, it's actually really small. Okay, how about this bad boy? How does this thing look? Wow, that's really small too. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna go with either this or the other Dark Rock. This one, yeah. Now this one doesn't show a picture, but I actually know it's a pretty good model. I've seen a couple people use that. So we'll go ahead and go with that one. Look at this, we're already at $400 and we haven't even picked anything else yet, just those two little pieces. So expensive, dude, so expensive. Next we'll go ahead and pick our motherboard here. I don't really know which brand I'm going to go for. You know, I'd love to go MSI on this build, but you know, my last MSI build actually didn't turn out as well as I expected, but whatever. So, okay. I like to set, you know, the 6 GB ports. It needs to have at least 2 of those. RAM slots, obviously we want 4 of those, and the max RAM needs to be at least 32. Now we'll go ahead and, you know what, we can even pick the color, but yeah, see, DDR3 I guess we're going for on this build. I would have liked to go for DDR4, but that's actually really expensive, so maybe it's a good thing if I stay away from it, you know. But yeah, what are the color schemes I'm gonna go for? I'm trying to go for black and white on this build, but I don't know, we're gonna go with whatever we can go for. There's no white, that's strange. Okay, so oh, MSI pops right up in here. SLI Crate Edition. Wow, that looks pretty clean. Yeah, as clean as that looks, is it gonna be good? That's the question here. So USB. Okay, so it looks doable. It looks doable. Okay, so adding that MSI motherboard in there will help us out just a tad here. Okay, so now we're going to move on and pick our RAM here. So this is going to be pretty important. How many gigabytes of RAM do we want? I got no idea. I know that I want it to be higher speed RAM according to the usual 1600. Probably I'm just going to go with 16 honestly for this build, because it's not really necessary to have more than 8. So, but I'll go with 16, like the PC I'm using right now. And then, you know, do I really need expensive RAM? I mean, they give you the color option, like it really matters that much. Obviously if you're going for looks, it matters a lot, but you know, who cares really? That's what I say. Yeah, there's not even a specific one there. So black and white. Okay, we popped one up here. Mushkin Blackline. Wow, I don't know, is that, I might as well go for the cheaper option instead of the looks on this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and uncheck the colors here and just pick the cheapest thing possible. Corsair Vengeance. I know these actually look pretty clean. Yeah, there we go. That works out good. That works out good. Black and white. Okay, we'll throw that in there. That's a pretty good deal. And what are we looking at? 573 so far. Okay. We're hanging in there. Now storage. I'm definitely gonna go SSD and HDD on this build. So we'll go ahead and start off with our SSD here. And what is our best bang for the buck? That's the real question right here. So obviously I'm gonna need at least, you know, a 400 gigabytes RAM or SSD for this build. So we'll go ahead and pick the cheapest SSD in that category. And wow, look, it popped up again, another mushkin. Well, doesn't have a picture of it, but we can trust it. And additional storage, now we're gonna get our HDD, probably 1 terabyte. Hopefully, Jesus, voice crack there. 1 terabyte, where should we go? 7200 RPM probably. And oh yep, just above that. And pick our cheapest 1 terabyte here. Usually, yep, Seagate, pretty popular, cheap 1 terabyte. And then we will choose our video card. Now this is where if we're gonna push $1,000, more than likely. You know, it's gonna be a gorgeous build, so we're gonna have to push it, and we're probably gonna go NVIDIA. I'm hoping for it. So I would click the 960, the 9, you know what, not even that. Let's get rid of the 960, 980, 980 Ti. So all of these are VR ready. So whenever I'm ready for that, obviously the 970 will be the cheapest up here. I need to check out the color because I know they have a red one, and I want to make sure that this isn't the red one because that would throw off the entire look of it. So let's go ahead and see how this looks on here. Wow, that's a 970. Oh, it's a mini ITX overclocked. Okay, so wow, actually it's pretty good reviews. I'm surprised. Yeah, that's really cool actually. I like how it's mini. I don't even know if I've seen that one before. I've usually seen the big fat red one, but you know what? Whatever gets the job done is what I'm saying right now. What about this bad boy? Looks like it's the same model. Ooh, this one's blue. Okay. So I would have gone for the 770, but I know for a fact that the 970 is specifically better for VR. So I don't know. I mean, if we go up a few dollars more, it gets a tiny bit faster, like this bad boy. But I don't know. I like that first one we saw. I don't care if it's a mini or not. That's powerful. GTX 970. Yeah, that was pretty gooch. I'll go ahead and put that in there, and that's gonna save us a good amount of money there. Only coming in at $283. Pretty fancy. So now the case, my favorite part, the entire build. I'm actually really proud of myself for picking a graphics card that fast. Usually I spend almost an hour on the graphics card, but that worked out pretty well right there. Okay, so case, now obviously we need to be white, and we need to have a side panel window. Those are the two most popular things I look for. And the price, I'm not really, caring that much because I want it to look good for sure. I know the Phanteks Enthuse case looks pretty good. Did that come down in price a little bit? I think it did. Yeah, of course. So that's a pretty popular case right there, and it's really good for cable management. I believe on the bottom they have a specific area for the power supply, and it really looks good. And the SSD slots down there, so we'll go ahead and keep that one in mind. Primo White. What is this one? That's pretty expensive, Jesus. Okay, yeah, so I think I'll actually just go ahead and go with that. Yeah, the one I just looked at, I'm gonna go with that one. That was pretty, I know that one's pretty good. I've seen a couple YouTubers like Awesome Sauce use that build. For power supply, what's our, okay, it's estimating 364 watts. I don't really believe it that much, but yeah, we'll see what we can do. Obviously, I want to start off with it being modular, or at least semi-modular. We'll go with the semi-modular build. Bronze plus, gold plus, all that good. Make sure it has all of those. And wattage, I'm gonna go nothing less than 700 right now. And the cheapest one looks like to be the Supernova. Yeah, I expected that. 750 watts, 80 plus bronze. That's a pretty good one. It's semi-modular. I've always wanted to use this one, so hopefully this will be the time. Hopefully this is the time to use it. And looks like that will be about it for me. We're coming in at $1,150. The base total is actually just slightly higher than that. It's not as bad as I thought. If I could change anything about this build to make it cheaper for any of you guys who are looking into buying this, the first thing I would do is look for a little bit of a cheaper CPU. You guys don't necessarily need a 4790K. You could have gone with a way cheaper aftermarket cooler. I'm almost positive that you'll find a better motherboard than this. In fact, I might go back and find a better motherboard than this one. You don't need an SSD for $100. You could take that off and just stick with the 1 terabyte. The 970, you could easily go down to a 770 for a little bit cheaper. Might not be specifically ready for VR, but who cares? You definitely don't need this case. You could get a case for $50 and still have a window on it. Yeah, that's a pretty good job. The power supply probably will be necessary for the amount of stuff we're doing. Oh, and also you guys didn't need the 16 gigabytes of RAM. You could go with 8 easily on this build, so that could save you right there $300 and bring it down to maybe $800 build by saving a lot of money on those things. So I'm gonna go ahead and add up all this. I'll see you guys back at it in just a minute. I'm gonna add up everything I've showed you today and give you an estimate, and hopefully over the summer I can go ahead and build that. That's extremely expensive. You know, I don't make any money on YouTube yet. Hopefully I will later on, but yeah, I don't really make any money on YouTube yet, so all this money that I would be putting towards this build actually comes from me having 2 jobs, as well as going to school and stuff. It's tough to get all this time to do stuff like this, so that's why I build it in the summer, and hopefully sell my old PC and possibly pay for half of this. So my old PC was about $700 base, and then I added a lot of stuff onto it as time went on, making it probably almost $900. But yeah, I don't know. Go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up, and we'll go ahead and see you in the next one.